I like what I'm seeing from Sergey Kovalev in the build-up to his fight on Saturday night against Vyacheslav Shabranskyy. Kovalev has been saying the right things, or at least his manager has. Actually, he has as well in certain interviews, but particularly his manager Klimas was saying the right things at the press conference. He was saying that Kovalev hasn't been living the right way over the past few years. He kind of alluded to Kovalev possibly not being disciplined in terms of maybe going out drinking with his friends. He talked about Kovalev not listening to people around him, including his trainers, and thinking he could do it all himself. This is what his manager Klimas was saying. Now, this is what people like Andre Ward and his trainer Virgil Hunter was saying before both Kovalev fights. This was what Abel Sanchez, Kovalev's former trainer, was saying. So the fact that Kovalev has seemingly now faced the fact that he has, to some extent, masterminded his own demise, that's a good thing. Because the first step to overcoming any problem is to admit that you actually have a problem. Then you can deal with it. When you're in denial, you'll continue with that same issue and it will go unchecked and unremedied. So the fact that Kovalev has now seemingly acknowledged that he has been culpable for what's been going on and he's stopped completely blaming everybody else, that's a good thing. Secondly, I've been impressed by the training footage I've seen of Kovalev. He looks focused, he looks energized, he looks confident. I know people hitting pads can be very deceptive, but I've seen Kovalev hit the pads a lot of times, and the way he's hitting the pads at the moment, he seems very sharp. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from him in the build-up to this fight. However, I also want to see how Kovalev is in the ring from a psychological point of view when his opponents start putting him under pressure. Because low blows aside, Andre Ward had Sergey Kovalev on Queer Street in the final round of that contest, whatever round it was it 4 or 5 rounds? He had Kovalev on Queer Street from a headshot, and Ward is not a puncher. So Kovalev displayed vulnerability, which he's never shown before. And that will embolden a lot of his future opponents now. They're going to take heart from that. And when they're in there and it's tough against Kovalev and they're shipping punishment, they're going to think to themselves, you know what? If I can just get through this, I can get to him. Ward got to him. Ward survived a knockdown against him. If he can do it, I can do it. Now, his opponents may not be as may not be as technically gifted as an Andre Ward, but they might not have to be. An example I could give you would be Juan Manuel Marquez. He was completely deconstructed and schooled by Floyd Mayweather. Years later, Tim Bradley fought Marquez, and he basically tried to copy the blueprint that Floyd had created of how to beat Marquez. He tried to copy it and actually tried to emulate Floyd's style to a large degree if you watch the Tim Bradley-Marquez fight. Now, Tim Bradley is nowhere near as good as Mayweather, but he didn't have to be in order to beat Marquez. He didn't beat Marquez as emphatically as Floyd did, but he still beat him. So the same might be the situation here with Kovalev. You might not necessarily have to be as skilled as Andre Ward to beat Kovalev. Once you know the blueprint and you stick to it, you might have other strengths that can make up for the fact that you're not as skilled as Andre Ward. You might be taller, longer reach. You might have faster hands. You might be a bigger puncher, etc. So I'm going to be interested to see how Kovalev reacts when he's under pressure now. Particularly where I think his opponents are going to be emboldened. And they're going to try and go at him and attack him more fiercely than they used to. It's the same with Mike Tyson. You know, when Mike Tyson first lost to Buster Douglas, a lot of fighters got brave with Tyson after that. I mean, well, you know, maybe not Alex Stewart and Henry Tillman, but certainly Razor Ruddock. And certainly after Tyson lost to Holyfield, everyone was trying to get brave with him then. Franz Botha, and, you know, all these fighters were trying to get brave with Tyson after he lost to Holyfield those 2 times. So, and, you know, when people get more brave, they often become more effective. They might become more reckless too, but they can also become more effective. So it becomes a more dangerous situation for Kovalev now, that the opponents are getting more brave, more determined, because they've seen that he's got vulnerability. I'm very interested to see how Kovalev deals with that. Now, another interesting thing going into this fight is the fact that Shabranskyy, who's also coming off a loss, I'm not sure if he's fought again since he lost to Barrera. And that was a tough loss for him. So he's also potentially coming into this fight with demons. So I guess that kind of evens it up. But one thing that interests me about Shabranskyy is that he's been sparring Bivol for this fight, who a lot of people think is the new danger man in the division. He's been sparring Bivol, and he's also been sparring Benavidez, the WBC super middleweight champion. That's good sparring. That's good preparation for Kovalev. I'm not saying either one of those guys is exactly like Kovalev stylistically, but they're 2 very good quality fighters, 2 guys who can punch, etc. 2 guys who are technically good. So that's a good preparation for Sergey Kovalev. The only better preparation at light heavyweight that you could have got for Kovalev outside of those 2 guys is maybe Artur Beterbiev. But other than Beterbiev, he got about the best preparation you can get in terms of sparring. So that's a good look for Shabranskyy. I'm looking forward to this fight. Do I expect Kovalev to win? Yes. I think Kovalev is the more talented fighter. I think he's the better fighter. And as I just mentioned, yes, he's coming off a loss, but Shabranskyy is also coming off a loss in the not too distant past. So he's also got to battle demons. So yeah, I'm expecting Kovalev to win, but I'm interested to see if Shabranskyy can put Kovalev under pressure and ask some questions of Kovalev's mindset. That's what I'm interested to see, because I want to see how Kovalev reacts, because different fighters react in different ways to these type of situations. Some people believe Kovalev is the stereotypical bully who, when he gets bullied, he's always going to crumble. But maybe he's not. Maybe he does have more of a fighting instinct in him than that. And the next time he's in a real dogfight where he's hurt, he'll come roaring back like Evander Holyfield, rather than crumbling the way he appeared to do against Andre Ward in the second fight. So yeah, that's what I'm interested to find out. I guess we'll see on Saturday. So drop your comments in the comment section below. How do you see this fight going? And what do you think about everything I've mentioned in this video? It's happening, I'm out.